Julie, the U.S. women's national team finished off a perfect group phase at Olympic qualifying with a 6-0 win over Costa Rica down in Houston on Monday night. The star of the show, Christen Press, she gets a couple goals. She now has 4 goals in the tournament. And it wasn't just the amount of the goals, Julie, it was the quality of the goals. What did you make of Christen Press's performance?
I mean, just that. I mean, we've known for so long, Sebi, the potential for Press and the potential for her in front of goal. I mean, those were not just 2 goals; those were 2 beauties. And mind you, it is Costa Rica, and they didn't have their stars on the field. But this is the potential of Christen Press, and this is what I'm hoping we see going forward, because for so long we've known that's inside of her. We've seen it in flashes, but it's never been consistent. And I think that's the challenge for her, is can she bring that consistency in front of goal as one of the best finishers out there? She strikes a ball purer than most. And that is going to be her challenge going forward, because if she can bring that, she's a starter for this team.
So she's got 50 international goals for the United States, but only 2 have come in major international tournaments. You kind of touched on it in your answer there. How dangerous is it to judge what we're seeing, whether it's from Christen Press or anybody else on this team, when we consider it is Panama, it is Haiti, 2 programs that are well behind the United States, and specifically in the case of Costa Rica, they were clearly more focused on the semifinal than the Monday night matchup. Are we looking maybe a little too much at what we're seeing so far in these first 3 games?
It is hard, to be fair. It is hard to get some parameters in place with these games, because you just don't have the competition level that they're going to see at the Olympics, or that they're going to see in the build-up to the Olympics, and especially in what we've seen in the last couple of years, where Jill Ellis was very cognizant of saying, I want to play the best, I want to play the best consistently, because when we get to a World Cup or Olympics, we are then played in. So it is hard, but we've seen Christen Press do this as well. We saw her at the Women's World Cup when she came in for an injured Megan Rapinoe. She scores the great goal to get him through, and so there is that flash of potential in her. But again, it just has to be more consistent. So I think we look at these games as, okay, they're confidence builders. They do give you some idea of what's out there. And now, can you take it to the next level and say, okay, can we do this on a consistent basis against the best in the world?
Right. I mean, she started that game against England in the semifinals, scored a huge goal. So there is some track record there of success. Let's focus in on her position, because so far in this tournament, Vlatko Andonovski has used her both out wide in kind of the Megan Rapinoe, Tobin Heath spots, but she's also played through the middle in the spot vacated very much by Alex Morgan. Which do you think is better for Christen Press?
I think Christen Press out wide, because she can take on and she loves to run up players, and she's got the pace, as we've seen in past games, to get behind defenses. So I like her out wide, but I do like that Vlatko is switching things around, right? We saw Tobin Heath come into the midfield in the game against Costa Rica. You see Christen Press going into that high number 9 position. I think she's better when she's facing towards her own goal rather than back to goal, but I like that he's switching it up. So I suspect, and especially because you want more depth, you want more than just with Alex Morgan out. She's playing typically in that high target position. They have Carly Lloyd, who I think, although she had a great ball into Lindsey Horan for the goal against Costa Rica, she hasn't had her best performance that we're typical that we're used to seeing of Carly Lloyd. So I like that he's looking at other players in that position.
There's so much talent out wide. We mentioned Heath, you mentioned Rapinoe. So do you think that Christen Press will beat out one of those 2 players or anybody else for one of those outside spots, let's say, for a big, important game to be a starter at the Olympics?
I actually do think she has the potential for that, if she can be not just great in flashes, but consistently great. And as we know, for every forward, all they want to see is production. Can you be a game changer in that position? And she for sure has the potential to be a starter going forward.
Christen Press, off the bench or in the starting 11, very much what I think we can describe as luxury problems for Vlatko Andonovski, who saw his team go through group play with a plus 18 goal differential.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.